always asking me how I went from this to this on Instagram and from this to this on TikTok. The numbers look cool, but what's even cooler is that this is how I get all of my work, from singing gigs, to music production gigs, to working with music tech companies, to getting free gear. This is a little backstory about me. I moved to Las Vegas in 2020 with my ex-boyfriend. He got a new job and I agreed to move with him because I had lost all of my gigs and I was really depressed in New York City. As you can remember, the pandemic was tough and it was even tougher for those of us in tiny, expensive, small apartments. I had just started to learn how to produce, so I decided I can work from anywhere. And so I was ready for the change. So we drove across the country and moved to Las Vegas. When I moved here, I was unemployed, I didn't have any gigs, I didn't have any friends. My relationship was coming to an end, so I just spent most of my time in my studio learning how to produce and posting on TikTok. At that time, TikTok was a very safe space. I didn't have anyone in my inner circle that was using TikTok. None of my family, very few of my friends were actually scrolling on TikTok at the time, and the producer community on there was pretty small. So I decided I was gonna use TikTok as a way to hold myself accountable. And I started posting a creation of the day. Roll the video. I wrote a new creation today that I'm really, really proud of. I'm gonna show it to you. First, drums. Then we add some like weird little effects. This song is about cash, so I added some cash effects. And I added bass. Some melodic things and keys. Okay, now the best part, voice. Never had enough and your last been always living for the moment. Don't you wanna get that? I wasn't getting a lot of views and I was almost getting discouraged. And then I made this video. The power of mindset. Today I woke up feeling very discouraged. This past week I have been posting a music creation every day, something I wrote and produced all by myself. I was doing these to keep myself accountable and to get some feedback from other producers and to get more followers. However, most of my videos were not getting very much attention, so I thought to myself, should I stop posting these? Then I was like, Sabrina, wait a minute. These visual references are the best way for you to document your progress. Over time, I'll be able to look back and see how far I've come. My point is, posting on TikTok doesn't only have to be about gaining followers. If you use it as a tool, there will never be a reason to get discouraged. And then I struck gold. I started posting tutorials about what I was learning. This is one of the first videos that started to do well for me. How to produce drums for people that don't know how to play drums. I personally use Logic and Splice, but you can use any sort of sounds you like. Step 1, find a kick. I'm gonna make a dance beat, so I'm gonna put the kick on every beat. This is what it sounds like. Step 2, find a snare you like and put it on beats 2 and 4. I added some slight variation. Step 3, use a closed hi-hat on every 8th note. Every other measure on beat 4, add an open hi-hat. Find some percussion toppers in your BPM. Feel free to get creative with these. This is what I found. Drummers, please share tips in the comments. To everyone else, I hope this helped. Comment and follow for more. And then I started posting Logic Pro tips. And one of my first Logic Pro tip videos was actually commented on by Phineas. And that was really exciting for me. So I decided I'm onto something. I really like creating music tech content. This is a win-win for me because if nobody watches my videos, at least I'm learning something new. That is what I wanted to do for my living, was to work with music tech companies. But I hated interviewing, I hated applying, I hated wasting my time doing that, I hate auditioning, so I said, how can I get them to come to me? And that's when I learned that social media can be like fishing. If you put out the right kind of bait, the fishes will come to you. And all you have to do is reel them in. Okay, so what was one company I was desperate to work with? Any guesses? Apple. I really wanted to get their attention. So how can I do that? I just made so many Logic Pro tip videos. And finally, they did reach out to me, and I was even recently invited to their Logic Pro for iPad demo in LA. In the last 3 years now, I have worked with so many music tech companies, from Focusrite to Novation to Splice to iZotope, to Antares, and so many more. It really doesn't matter what your goal is. If you harness the power of social media, it can be life-changing for you and your career. So here's how you can do it. Step 1, what do you want to do with your page? Be as specific as possible and kind of pick one main focus for now, and then you can build on it later. For example, let's say you want to mix and master for others. That's what you want to do, and you want to use your page to attract clients. Step 2, decide who are the fans and clients that would support that goal. So using our first example of mix and mastering for other, who are the fans and clients that would support that goal? Well, I would say they are maybe singers, other music producers that don't want to mix and master themselves, independent artists, labels, and even managers of these artists looking to find people to work with. Step 3, write down the kind of content that these people would like to see. You don't have to focus on how many people see the video, you just need to focus on who sees the video. So many people become obsessed with going viral and they lose all their motivation and their will to create content because their videos only get a couple hundred views. But think about it this way, if your video gets even 50 views and 3 of those people are people that desperately need a mixing or mastering engineer and then they hire you to do their mixing, isn't that much better than getting a million views about what you think about the Kardashians or something your dog did funny? So let's think about what kind of content would your target audience like to see? Write down as many things as possible. A good rule of thumb is that really good content is either educational, entertaining, or inspiring and motivating. So using those ideas, what kind of content can you create for your target audience? So you could do tips for singers or producers. That could be kind of cool because you are helping out your target audience. If they see that video, they might be like, wow, this is super helpful. Can I hire you to mix my songs? Or you can come up with an entertaining way to show your work. You can show, hey, a day in the life of a mixing engineer. I am walking into the studio now. This is what the song sounds like at this time. Play the song and then be like, I will show you what it sounds like at the end of the session. Or you can do, a producer sent me this and I turned it into this. You can make a video. This is why you should hire a professional mixing engineer. This is what it sounded like before, what it sounded like after. So you can come up with different entertaining ways to showcase what you can do. Think about your page as a digital portfolio. This is super helpful even if you are meeting people in real life. When we meet people in real life, what do? We exchange our social medias. Whenever we're bored or just sitting at home, we're kind of scrolling through social media. And if your videos are popping up, they are constantly being reminded about who you are and what you have to offer. So when someone says, hey, I'm looking for a mixing engineer, do you know anyone? And they'll be like, yes, I know the perfect person. So you stay fresh in their mind. And if you're creating good content as a digital portfolio, that will be a way for them to connect you to the job. I think your social media is even more important than your website. That's just my opinion. I don't even have a good website and I get all of my work from social media. Doesn't matter what your goal is. It doesn't matter if you want to be an independent artist or a DJ or a manager or a booking agent, whatever you want to do, if you use these steps, social media can change your career. It could be the difference of $100,000 a year. And I know this is true because this happened to me. Now, obviously it does take a little bit more than these 3 steps. You also have to learn the skill of creating content and you have to stay consistent with it. But if you want to learn some more about my content strategies, I do have a course. I will link it in the caption and I will put a little discount in there for you. I will also link my free worksheet that you can actually fill out these 3 steps. But I hope I've inspired and motivated at least one of you to start posting for your target audience. Remember, the goal is to not go viral. The goal is to focus on who is watching your video and also find content you enjoy creating. This is content creation. If you don't like what you're creating, you need to figure out a different way to create content that you like and that works for you. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel exciting. Please comment if you have any other questions. And also please subscribe to my channel. I will be posting a video every Tuesday, so I will see you next week.